here in just a minute. All right. Well, tonight we're going to talk about this Kiwanis International Signature Project Contest. This is a newer contest if you've been in Kiwanis a while. If not, it's probably been around since you've been in Kiwanis. I think it started um, the year Jane Erickson was our international president, our second female international president. Um, and she was the one that believed every club should have what's called a signature project. And so then after they started that, they thought maybe they should start a contest to incentivize people to have one. So, what is a signature project? Um, well, first, let's start off with what our presentation is going to be tonight. I have severe ADHD, so I like to keep myself on track with an agenda. And I tend to go off on a tangent. So if I do that, just bring me back. But tonight there's three things we're going to cover, and then I'll answer questions. Tonight we're going to cover the fundamentals of what actually is a signature project, and maybe dispel any myths that you might have heard out there about what that is. I'm going to give you the details about this contest, when the deadline is, how to find information, how the different clubs are grouped so you would know who you're competing against, and then some information for you to do some research so you would know what type of winners there have been in the past. Give you some tips so you don't get frustrated in the actual submission of the project, how the selection process works at the district level and then into the Kiwanis International selection, and then answer any questions you might have. Okay, so what is a signature project? So a signature project is not, as most people believe, having to be a service project. There are four components to a signature project, and I've listed them here on the screen, and this will be shared online later. It's also available at the Kiwanis.org website. But the four components are that the signature project is intended to be recurring, so it's something you would do each year. If you are a newer club and you don't have one and you are about to start a signature project, or just completed your first, that still counts, as long as the intention is that it's recurring. The signature project is supposed to enhance the Kiwanis image in your community. So one thing Jane used to like to say was, if your club disbanded, would your community feel it? And that's sort of what she means by this, or the definition of enhancing the Kiwanis image. If your signature project stopped, would the community be like, gosh, I miss whatever your signature project was? Here up in the high country, it would be the Woolly Worm Festival done in Banner Elk that close to 50,000 people attend. If they stop doing that, that is definitely a signature project put on by the Kiwanis Club. If they stop doing that, quite a few people would miss it. Number three, does it demonstrate significant impact on your community in terms of your monies raised or the children served? So that is what they're looking for, I would say, number one, as far as finding and selecting the Signature Service Project award winners. And number four, does it strengthen the membership and partnership opportunities you have? So your club membership and then your partnership opportunities and within your community. So it doesn't say anything there about it being a service project, or it also doesn't say it cannot be a fundraiser. It could be either or and both. So the details, the do's and the don'ts. So once we go through this PowerPoint, I will pull up the website where the signature project is, so you can see that, and we'll make sure we get all your questions answered. But here are a few for you to begin with. So this contest is only open for the next 23 days. The deadline is January 30th. As a district secretary, I push every year for them to extend this deadline or open the contest earlier. I did that this year as well. At first, this was only going to be 2 weeks open. And I said, gosh, can you give clubs just a little bit longer than 2 weeks? I really wanted to be open at least 6 weeks, so you have a chance to talk to your board about this program as well if you're new to it. But the compromise this year was January 30th, and maybe next year, maybe they'll open it much earlier, say, and have it open. My hopes would be that it would be open October 1st through January 30th. So that gives more clubs time to even understand what it is and to develop one, do one, and then submit. There are 2 different groups for the signature project contest. So they split the clubs into 2 groups. That would be clubs that have 27 members or fewer, and then clubs that have 28 or more members. Again, I've asked them to break this down further. I would like to see 4 groups, not 2 groups, because in my humble opinion, it's very hard for a club that has 28 members to compete with a club that has 100 members. But the rationale for the 2 groups, first, for the history of this, way back in the beginning, there was only 1 group. And I, again, raised my hand and said, that's hard. And so what they did was they found the median size of the clubs in the world, and it was 28 members. So they decided that would be the one side and the other side. I'm hoping in the future they make it at least 3 groups, but hopefully 4: small, medium, large, and extra large. Where can you find information on the signature project? It was sent out by Dateline, which is a e-newsletter that goes out to club officers from Kiwanis International about once a month. I think they sent just another one out today or yesterday, but it's in there as well. I also included it in CD News, and I will keep it in CD News through January 30th. So those are 2 different areas that you can find the link to the signature project. Or the other way is just to go to the international website, Kiwanis.org, and in their search area, type in signature project contest, and it will come up. The winners for the 2 different groups, there will be a gold, silver, and bronze winner. And new last year was they started putting a monetary prize to them. So they will get 3rd place, bronze will get $1,000, silver will get $1,500, and gold will get $2,000. They'll also be highlighted at the Kiwanis International Convention. The top 10 in both categories will be. And then the top 3, I believe, are done from the stage. And that international convention will be at the end of June in Pittsburgh. So, what are the do's and don'ts for submitting for your signature project? So, the way this contest works is if you were submitting for the contest, you come to the submission comes to me at the district office. And then each district, we have about 80 districts in the world, has to choose 1 project for the 2 groups. And here in the Carolinas, we have a rubric that covers that piece that we talked about here, demonstrating significant impact on the community in terms of monies raised and children served. So we have a rubric with points that each of us gives, and then our committee chooses. If anybody ties, we choose from the ties, or if we don't have a tie, we choose the one from the committee with the most points that we gave it individually. And then those two submissions, so one from the small clubs and one from the clubs at 28 or more, we give to Kiwanis International. And then they take all those submissions from the 80 districts, if so that's 160, and then they have to narrow it down to the top 10 in each category. And then from that, I do believe they take it to the board for the top 3, the finals. So what do you need to do? You need to approach this as if it were like you were writing a grant. We are going to get inundated with clubs, events. And so hopefully you can present it in a way not only to be chosen by the district because you have the best thing. It's like kind of like submitting a resume for a job, right? You want it to be polished and your answers be as impactful as possible so that we pick you. And then not only do you want it to be picked from us, you're then going to be competing against 80 other projects from around the world. So keep that in mind when you apply. The other thing you want to make sure you do, I'm going to show you the screen of all the questions and the actual form. The form does not allow you to save the answers and come back. And I know it has timed out on people in the past. Like they'll be thinking about how they want to write their question, or answer the question. And then all of a sudden, the wheel of death occurs and it won't submit, and they lose all the information. So a very big tip for me is for you to cut and paste the questions into something like Word or a Google Doc, and then think about your answers beforehand and have them all written out and ready to go. And then you would just cut and paste the answers into the program. And then after the district selects our 2 signature project selections, we highlight those that currently at the next year. So this coming February at mid-year, we will highlight the 2 that we selected last year. Because it's a little earlier and we have the capability of submitting our selections earlier this year, we will be able to highlight our other 2 selections, so the ones we're about to send forward at mid-year as well. So with all of that, I just wanted to get any questions you guys might have. Then I'm going to show you the list of questions that you would be answering for the signature project and see if you have any other questions based on that. But the 3 top questions I think people will have that will contact me about are on the form, it asks for the club ID. You guys know where to find your club ID or key number that we call it. It's on the secretary dashboard and it's a 5-digit number with a K in front of it. So that's what they want for the club ID. Our district ID is K04. And then it says SLP clubs, and some people don't know what that means. And that an acronym means Service Leadership Programs. So the Service Leadership Program clubs are K-Kids, Builders Club, Key Club, CKI, and Action Club. And so there is a question in the chat. Can you submit only one signature project? And I will have to find out, but I do believe the answer is yes. So I will get with Elizabeth Warren and find out and let you know. And we'll also see if it says on the website. More than one. Any other questions you guys might have before I take us into the actual form? Yes, Carol.
So, hopefully no question is a stupid question.
Absolutely not. You go right
Um,
ahead.
yeah, so am I understanding this correctly? Because we do have a project in mind this year. We are the new club, so we're kind of
Uh-huh.
bumping through, if you will. But does this project have to be done by the January 30th deadline? Or are you just yes, it does. You answered.
Yes. So
I think
this,
your head answered
yes.
it. Okay.
Yes. So this project, this contest is for projects that probably occurred last year at,
Okay.
or, in 2024 or in the last Kiwanis year, 23, 24.
Okay, perfect.
But I will tell you, it would be good for you to go there and look at them. And they have archive of all the winners from the past to look at and see who won to get ideas for a signature project for yourself.
We have a great project in mind, but it's
Oh,
this.
great.
We just have to do it. All right, so I'll just
Perfect.
listen and be ready for next year. Thank you.
Yeah. And then I will tell you, this is going to come out at the mid-year conference, so y'all are the first to hear it. Um, the Children's Fund each year has a campaign for clubs to give money at the annual gift campaign. I don't know if you know of that or not. And they hope clubs on average give $10 per member. And then from that campaign, the amount of money that is given by our clubs to the district, they give us a small percentage back. So this coming Kiwanis year, this year currently, we are going to get about $3,000 back from the Children's Fund, and they ask us to do a grant program, and the district gets to decide how they use that money in the district. And our district, what we do with it is we do a matching service project grant. So we'll be announcing that at the district mid-year conference. And we're going to be offering up to $1,200 micro grants. So it needs to be for a service project you'll be doing this year. So it could be your signature project. Um, and it has to meet one of the three criteria of the Children's Fund, which almost every service project we do meets: nutrition, leadership, or education for children. Um, and we're going to have that open most likely March 1st through April 30th. So you have 2 months to submit for your application. Then we'll pick the top 15, and we'll announce to those clubs that they have been awarded the grant. And then you have until August 30th to spend the money and return us receipts and pictures. So that's another way we're trying to give back to the clubs. So think about that while you're creating your project too. Any other questions about signature projects? Yes, ma'am. Karen.
I have a question. Is there a limit on the number of words in the answers
Yes. So
when you
let me pull
compose
that
your
up.
answers?
Yes, some of them do have a limit. So let's share my screen here of the Google Chrome. Okay, so when you go to Kiwanis.org, it kind of, their trail up here kind of shows you. You'll go to the member section, and then there's a big screen of a grid of pictures, and you would choose service projects and then signature contests. And this is the page you get. Or you can just type in here in the search bar, signature project, and this will come up. So this kind of goes through those criteria I was telling you about, what a project is. Here's the area where you can see the questions that will be asked. So you can cut and paste that. I'll click it now. Just takes it a minute. And I don't know if it tells you here. the number of words, but the next screen will. So now that it's open, you will, there's nothing much to the contest rules where I'd pull those up to. It's just that their decision is final is the biggest thing. And then you would click English for the contest entry form, and I've already pulled it up here. And I was reading through this, and there was an area where it limits the number of characters you have. So what you probably want to do is pull this up. You're going to want to go here and get the questions and cut and paste those into a document. And then you're going to want to pull this up and then type your limits for those questions. And I also think you want to look at this too, because on these see the questions area, which they had for people before today, just because they didn't have the form open yet, and people were like, "You're not giving us much time to do this. We don't know what the questions are. We need to prepare." So they created that, but that creation didn't include like the drop down menu of some of the things. So, like for example, here, number 16, what's the primary focus of your signature project? This drop-down list is not in that list. So you're going to probably want to come look between the two and maybe add some of this back so you can choose what area you're in. And then you see here the 50 character limit. That's if it wasn't one of these focus areas. And then this drop down is also not there. This is 1500. So you do need to look through here and see the number of characters that are available.
I have another question, Leah.
Yes, Karen.
If you scroll up, there was a question, how many people outside of Kiwanis attended this event? Does that mean
yes,
the signature project event?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Woolly Worm would say 50,000.
Okay. All right.
And by the way, the Banner Out Club has about 20 members. So it's amazing what they do with that. Let's see. It looks like we have something else in chat. What if a project is implemented but continuous to grow? Example, bookcases containing free books going into elementary school, currently 4, but plan on getting to 7 by end of 2025 year. So what I would say there is if it asks what it was, you would do for the one you've already done. So it wouldn't be, so you would be submitting for your 2023-24 year end total is what I would give. Or if it's higher current, I wouldn't go past where you are currently. I would not do estimated. Did that answer the question? I think it did. So now let's go back here to the actual questions so we can see all the questions at once. And I'll go through slowly and see if you guys have any questions on it. So these are pretty self-evident. The name of the project, your club's name. By the way, for the name of your club, don't put Kiwanis in there. We know you're Kiwanis. So, you know, I'm in the Boone Club. I'm not going to write Boone Kiwanis. I'm just going to write Boone. Or if it's Kershaw County or North Myrtle Beach, Little River, that's all you need to write in there. Your club ID number, we went over. How many members are in your club? For that, they want to know your September 30th number. So if you don't know that, when we finish here, I can give you that number before we get off here. I have that list here for us. This is pretty easy. City, state, postal code, president's name, president email, That would be current, the current president, name of person submitting the entry, email address of the submitter, phone number. That's in case something gets garbled and they can give you a call. Your district ID is K04. Select the type of signature project. And I told you need to look at that drop down. How many years have you conducted the project? And that would be up through when you finish completing it. This last one. Does your club conductor intend to conduct this project at least annually? Answer yes. How many people were served or helped? What's the price? And if that, sometimes you have to guess that answer. Use your best guess for that. You know, if it's a ticketed event, you're going to have an answer, but say you're hosting an art exhibit and it's not ticketed, you're just going to have an estimate. What's the primary focus of the signature project? What group of people is primarily served? Population being served. So that by that they mean like children under 6, action club members, you know, that type of population. How many attended your most recent event, not including your club members? How many club members participated? And don't forget to include anyone that helped in the planning that might not have been at the actual event. How many members from the other clubs helped? Then, so as you can see, as this goes along, they are looking for collaboration between clubs, between service leadership programs, and between partners. So the more you can show that, I would say the more likely you have a chance of getting selected. Okay. And now this is another total expenses, net funds raised, how many new club members were gained through the project. That's hard to answer if you don't know if they came. How did you promote your event? I would think about that long and hard. That could be a way you're chosen. If you're very creative about how you present, because that goes into the Kiwanis image they were talking about. Share details of your promotional efforts. Were you able to collaborate with any other official partners? And they have that list there on the other screen. So you want to look at that. Were there local partners involved? And add any additional information. Upload up to 5 images. So the 5 images is important. A tip on that, you want to keep, you're only allowed up to 25 megabytes. So you want to think about your pictures beforehand and make sure you use a converter to make them, what is that? You want a JPEG. That would be the best. That would be the smallest. And that amount is for all 5. So you've got to keep them small. And I think I told you the right number. Let's pull that up again. Put it here. Give me 1 second. 25 megabytes. Yeah, for all 5. So it's 5 each. There you guys are. All right. So that was a lot of information all at once. Do you guys have any other questions about the signature project contest? If not, I am going to look at the contest rules, and if you want to tell me your club name, you can just shout it out and I will tell you how many members you had as of September 30th. So you'll know which category you're in and what number to put on the form. So Carol told me she's North Myrtle Beach, Little River, and that's in Division 24. Carol, you had 35 members.
Thank you. I was struggling getting my audio back on. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's see. Karin, Pawleys Island. You're also in Division 24. 30. Jeff is
Yes.
Onslow County.
Division 18.
That's, yes, sir. You had 27. Oh, so you're in the small group. It just baffles my mind that that's considered.
No, that's just, yeah, I mean, yeah.
But that's
because
what you are. You're
Okay.
not at, so even though you had 34
30.
at the beginning of last year, you ended with
Yep.
27. So you're
Yep.
in the 27 group.
Sad,
do
the
we have?
drops.
Hey, you can, I would be happy to have a club with 27 members. Cindy's in my club and we've gained 100%, but we're at 8 members now and we're going to get to 15. I'm telling you. Cindy's also in the Kernersville club and they have 39.
Didn't you get beat
Nice.
up with that hurricane?
Yes, but we're
Lose
doing
some-
much better.
No, didn't you lose some members because of it too?
No, my club did not. No. No, I have been in my club for 30 years now, and I've seen it, the highs and the lows, but we're going to come back. And we're working the foundation, the district foundation, due to all of y'all's generous support, has given us quite a bit of money to help the community. And we're working to help people that have been severely affected by Helene with heating. We here in Boone, you don't see it anymore. You don't, unless you're out in the country, but there are still people living in tents and they're bringing in those, they call them little houses. Is that what they're called? But they're really
Little
nice
house-
little houses.
Little houses.
Yeah, they're bringing those in. We're very fortunate. Mostly here, it was flooding. It wasn't as bad as down below us in the Asheville area. They got hit really hard. And as usual, I'm off on a tangent. So whom did I not get the name of their clubs? Who did I not get their number for?
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Give me the number for just the Jacksonville club.
Jacksonville.
Because we got 2 clubs in here. We're trying to
Yep,
help
they're
them.
20. They have 22 members.
Okay. We're trying to help them because they're aging out, and so we're dealing with
So
them.
they would be in that category too, same as your category.
Leah, can you give the
That's-
number for Charleston?
Charleston, yeah. 21.
And Leah, thank
Division
you
21.
for doing this presentation.
Sure, I'm glad to. 34.
Thank you.
34.
Hey, Leah, Grilly Mitchell, Hope Mills.
Hope Mills, Division 11.
Yes,
Hope Mills, 23.
23. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if y'all, so this is being recorded and I'll be putting it up on our website, hopefully sooner rather than later. I haven't gotten those up yet. But if you're watching the replay and you need your official number as of September 30th, you can email the district office. And my email is LEAH C for Carolinas, D for district, O for office @gmail.com. Well, that ends my presentation for this evening. If anybody have any other questions, I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm not going to leave y'all. And I'll answer anything else.